1. Greenwich, London, October 1841. It had rained for 2 days straight, and Greenwich Fair was a washout. The showman had lined the path through the fairground with straw, but the mud seeped through, forming a squelchy bog underfoot. At least the weather had finally cleared. Steamboats jostled at Greenwich Pier, packed lifeboat tight with boozy revellers looking to make up for lost time. Drunken crowds streamed through the park gates, whooping and cheering, leaping on shoulders, shrieking like monkeys. All along the path, showmen laid tables and hung banners, frantic to catch the last of the day's trade. There were peep shows, puppet shows, conjurers and card sharps. There were coconut shies, roundabouts, mesmerists and magicians. Ventriloquists argued with evil-eyed dolls, and wine-nosed Punch squawked, "That's the way to do it," as he thrashed his wife with a policeman's stick. Between the drinking booths and the circus tent sat a dismal line of wooden caravans that were peeled with paint and propped up with poles. Garish banners hung across their sides, painted with fantastically impossible scenes. A mermaid combing her hair, a giant towering over a lighthouse, a sheep with 6 legs, smoking a pipe. One of the signs read, "Cabinet of Curiosities." Another said, "Exhibition of Oddities." But most people called these vans freak shows. Top-hatted showmen leaned from their doors, speckling the air with spit as they called to the passing crowds. "Have you seen Bradley's circus? He's a man with 3 eyes and no nose. She transforms from beauty to beast in front of your eyes. She walks, she talks, she wiggles, she giggles. He hops on the spot like a frog. World's largest, world's smallest. The greatest curiosity in the world." Drunken eyes gazed at the banners. No one saw the small figure on top of one of the vans, or the wide green eyes that watched from above. Wildboy lay still on the caravan roof, his heart hammering against the wooden boards. From up here, he could see all the way along the path that cut through the fairground, from the park gates to the circus tent, and all the stalls and shows between. His eyes moved with incredible speed, picking out details from the bustling scene. He saw a lipstick smudge on a starched collar. He saw marks from prison irons on a wrist, a speck of paint on a stovepipe hat, a flare in a card sharp's nostrils that said the man was cheating, a bulge in a lady's bonnet where something stolen was stashed, a girl playing leapfrog who... Just then, the girl looked up and saw him. Wildboy flinched back, ready to dive through the hatch in the van roof if the girl screamed. But the girl didn't scream. Instead, a smile rose across her spotty cheeks. The hairs tingled all over Wildboy's body. Was she smiling at him? He shifted up and, very slowly, raised a hand in reply. But now the girl's mouth curled into a malicious grin. She pointed at him and shrieked to her friends, "Look, monster! Monster! I seen a hairy monster!" Wildboy dropped to the roof, cursing himself. Of course she wasn't smiling at him. In a puddle on the roof, he looked at his reflection. The girl was right. He was a monster. Only monsters looked like this, with dark, dirty hair all over his face, other than a thin line where it parted down the middle. The hair covered his hands too, and almost every part of his body. Thick clumps of it sprung from the sleeves of his coat, like a scarecrow bursting with straw. "Wildboy! Wildboy!" a voice cried. "Hear what they say about Wildboy. He's the missing link between man and bear." Below, the showman Augustus Finch stood on the caravan steps. The scars across his face throbbed as he waggled a hand at the banner on the van. A lurid painting of a boy with glowing eyes and shredded clothes transforming into some sort of wild animal. "Wildboy! Wildboy! Hear what they say about Wildboy. He's wild. He's wonderful. He's one of a kind. This way, ladies and gentlemen. You won't see a more revolting freak at this fairground, or any other, or your penny back, guaranteed."